Welcome to my live. I have one of the brand new transfers today from our autumn winter catalog. And it is the Sloth. The cute little no worries, no hurries sloth. And we are going to do some chalk color mixing, and we are working on the 10-inch round board, and I think it's all going to fit on there, so we're going to give that a whirl. And I know that the catalog shows a couple of the new colors for it, and we're going to do our best to mix a couple colors together to create our own palette, starting with fawn and bark. So if you want to try this yourself, these are some of the old color palette, and I think it's going to turn out great. So, very good question to pose to you. What color is a sloth? What color is their fur, in your opinion? What color is the face of a sloth? And how would you mix it? Because I think that a lot of people think it's gray, and I've seen a lot of people that think it's tan, brown colored. So I'm curious to know if you've seen a sloth in real life in the zoo or something, and what color are they? Because the pictures I'm seeing online of a sloth are so all over the board. So I'm assuming that sloths from different places, that people are going to be chalking these sloths all different colors, I think. So I'm going to make mine kind of brownish tannish. There's a new color called, what's it called? It's kind of like the cross between tan and gray. Shoot, I can't think of the name of it. Let me look what it says in my catalog. Okay, new color that's a cross between tan and gray. That's ink. It's called Greige, G-R-E-I-G-E, so half beige, half gray. Greige. So some people are using that color. I am going to do bark and fawn. No, bark and why can't I get the color? Yeah, that's right. I was right. It is fawn. So whatever floats your boat. There's no right or wrong. You can do whatever you want. Let's stick those back there. Okay. I think we're ready. All right, I'm going to do parakeet for the words. It's a nice bright green. Bright green, and then I can use the same parakeet color for the leaves that are going to be on the branch. And this is a level 2 project, so there's many parts to it, and There's different sections where you're going to chalk one part, let that dry, and then line up the next part, part 2. So there's a bunch that are going to be layering over chalk, so that's what makes it a level 2. Like, I wouldn't do it the first time you learn how to do chalk unless you're really confident. But it's really no biggie. So, and the fact that I'm doing a little bit of color mixing is going to make, I mean, that's really easy, but a lot of people don't have confidence with doing that, which I understand. That can make it scary. All right, let's move that chalk paste aside. Put this in the water. Okay, that was easy, that step. Okay, let's dry this a little. This color, parakeet, dries a little bit lighter. I love this green. It's a really pretty bright color. Okay. All right, so all these steps, this is the branch the sloth is going to hang down from. So it has registration marks on it. That's this little plus right here, right there. It's got one there, and it's got one over here. That is so that after I am done with this branch, I can line this little guy up on it. All right, so let's give a little bit of room here. Let's see how this goes. I want to see if that will, yeah, he'll fit. Okay, perfect. All right, so this branch, we can do a little bit of a mixture, brown and fawn. That one's bark, and this one is fawn. So let me stir. And then we'll stir fawn. I have been finding in my studio that it stays warmer in here than in the workshop that I share, and I'm noticing that my chalk paste has been kind of like bubbly, foamy, and needing just a stir to get it back to the consistency I need it to work with, which is fine, but but it can freak me out too, because I feel like it's getting ruined, but it's not. It's been working perfectly. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of brown, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit of this fawn and kind of add like a variegated texture like real bark would be. All right, so that. And if you want to add those registration marks, just cover those in chalk. As long as you have a reusable surface like a chalkboard that you can wash the registration mark off, I would do the registration marks. But if you don't, if you're using like one of the box frames that's a one-time thing, you don't have to do the registration marks. You can just eyeball it because it would be harder for you to wash those marks off. Okay, so there are my 2 registration marks on the board. So I can line up my cute little sloth, transfer right on there. I love the way those 2 colors together blended on the bark because it did give it texture. So not only does it look like wood grain visually with the lines, it also does now with the color mixing. So very cool. All right, so this is part 1 of the sloth body. They actually have his body separate from his face, the details of his face, and then separate from his claws. Do you call them claws? What does sloth have? Are they claws? They're like really long nails. So like I said, you can use the registration marks or eyeball it, whatever floats your boat. All right, now I think he has kind of like a tannish body and a lighter colored face. And I was looking at a bunch of the pictures online, and I've kind of settled to, I think he's more tannish looking, although some of the photographs look like he's a little bit darker brown or even gray. So let me get a good amount of fawn. Okay, and then we're going to mix in some of this bark with it to give him a fur texture too, just like we did that branch. Just remember, if you don't like it, you can always start over. Yeah, I thought some of the sloth pictures made it look like it was almost a bluish gray. The way people are doing this transfer made it almost look bluish gray. There, that looks cute. Okay. I personally like the brownish tan color better. All right, now, well, we can leave those registration marks because we might need them to put his claws on. All right, let's dry his body. Okay. Next, we're doing his mask part of his face. It's almost a little bit, you know, I don't know if they're related to the raccoon family, but in the face, it looks like they could be cousins or something. Sloth and raccoon cousins, in my opinion. I mean, I'm no biologist or anything, but... All right, so I did that really, really well, fuzzed this transfer because I'm going over chalk paste. So I just want to make sure my silk screen is down and sticking, but I'm not going to press down on all of it because I don't want it to peel off any chalk paste. So let's go ahead. We're just going to do fawn for the mask because it's lighter. There. Cute little guy. Perfect. Okay. All right, the next part is his claws. Okay, so his little claws, right like that. Let's fuzz those good because we have to go, I'm going to fuzz it like 3 or 4 times on my fuzzing cloth over here. The terry cloth side of my fuzzing cloth. And then you can kind of eyeball where his oh, I see where it's supposed to line up right there and there. So on the branch, it's hard to see from your vantage point. It actually has like, where is that? That transfer's wet. It actually has like a little indentation. Looks like little M-shaped claw things, indentation, so that you can line it up without registration marks. So I'm just going to have the same color that I did his mask. I'm going to do his claws. Hi, Sarah. Are you guys having fun? I was just going to say, did you see I'm using a completely different color scheme for the body of the sloth? I looked at photographs online, like National Geographics and stuff, and I thought for sure there's a bunch where he looks tan or more brownish than grayish or beige or whatever it was, grayish. I can't even say the name of the new color right. So I am doing a brown, the bark color, and fawn. All right, so now we can move these guys out of the way. We're going to come back in with parakeet. Okay, and parakeet is going to be the color that we're going to pull back in for down around this branch. So you move the lid and stir in here. Sometimes if you've had your chalk paste kind of setting off to the side in the summer heat, it's great to just give it another stir. Okay, so after watching someone else do these leaves, I definitely am going to fuzz it a couple times here on this terry cloth side, and then lining it up, I thought was not going to be necessarily an easy thing. Okay, looking at it up close here. Okay, so these little ones go there. And these go there. Okay, I believe I have the branch. Now just go over the silk screen part because you don't want to pull chalk paste off. That's why I fuzzed it. So I'm just going over actually where the silk screen is. And then I'm going to go over it with parakeet. Oops, got a little bit over here. Okay, that's the first set of leaves. And then these other little transfer pieces are for the branches down here and down there. Let me real quick though, right where I erased the registration marks, I have like a little smudge there. Okay, now looking at, if you need to do research before you do a transfer, by all means, look at our catalog online. There's an example of every single transfer that we make. And if you need to get an idea, you can just use the online catalog. And we have a lot of designers who will post their pictures, and you can look at the images on Google of the finished products for what kind of surface they did it on and what that looked like, how they laid it out. It's not cheating. It is critiquing and getting ideas. You don't have to make yours identical, but if you are not confident about what things go together, look at some of the other ones and pull a couple ideas from each one that you like and change what you didn't like. It's as easy as that. Okay, we can peel these. Put the lid on my parakeet. Very, very cute. I love it. Just like being on vacation. No hurries, no worries. So he turned out really good. I did the bark color and the fawn color, and then I kind of like laid fawn on his body and then did some bark, and then I just kind of swirled it around. And then I did straight fawn for his mask and his claws. We did parakeet for the leaf color and the words up here, although my leaves are slowly drying right now, so they're a little darker, but they'll dry light like the words. And then we did more bark on the branch, but did just a smidge of fawn in there to make it a little bit variegated. So I think that turned out really nice. Cool. So I have, this is our 10-inch double-sided, so I still have my crab on one side, but now I can hang him up. No hurries, no worries side, till I'm ready to redo the crab. So there we have it. All right, that one was cool. All right, so next, the next project we're going to work on, I wanted to get rid of my Hey There cupcake and chalk over it. So let me show you how easy it is to clean your board when you want to redo. All right, so I'm just going to spritz water on it. And while I'm grabbing my next A-size transfer that's going to go on that, I'm going to let that water sit and stew for a second. All right. So this cute little guy, this owl, the hello owl, I haven't got to chalk him yet, and he is adorable. I think that this is a cute one for this pedestal sign because it would be a really cute thing, being a teacher, to be able to put this on my desk for the first, like, welcome back to school time, and have this to greet my new students this year. Because, you know, owls and teachers, and owls are wise and teachers are wise, you know, all that good stuff. So that is what we're going to do. All right. So that is enough time. Now, I think personally that a damp cloth works great to take this off. And it's reusable, you know. So to get the majority of it off, just a damp terry cloth, washcloth works. And then if you think there's ghosting on your board that is, like, after it dries, you can still kind of a little bit see, like, a really faint light image still remaining there, then you can use one of our board erasers. They're a little round puff. You just wet that, cool water, and then you can just go over it. It's got like a bumpy side and a smooth side, and it works really good. Then our fuzz cloth has a microfiber side that's really soft and lint-free. That is great to dry your board. And that's all there is to it. Now, the next thing is, before you start to chalk on your board, always check what side the hanging bracket's on. So for my pedestal, I have a hole here and here. So if I want it to go vertical, I need to turn it this way so that that's, actually no, opposite of that. If it's a bracket, you want it to be at the top. For the pedestal, because it connects there, you want that to be at the bottom. Okay? And if I want it to go horizontal, I want the place where the peg goes to be at the bottom there. So we're going to do it this way for the little owl. All right, now cutting our transfer. This is a level 2 difficulty because you are doing multiple steps just for the body of the owl. But luckily, these transfers are made with registration marks, just like that last one we used for the sloth. So these registration marks, you just chalk those in white or a light color. If you're using a washable board, that you can wipe that registration mark back off. If you're doing it on something porous like wood, you might not use the registration marks and just kind of eyeball it through the screen and line it up. So that's why I call it a level 2, because you do have to do that part. All right, so we're going to go with, I'm trying to think of what colors we want to do. If we want to do like realistic owl colors, or if we just want to do something fun. So I am going to go onto our online catalog that I have pulled up and see what they did it in. Maybe I have the same colors and I can show you that. Or look in my regular catalog. Since my internet just wants to spin and not go anywhere. Well, shoot. Okay, if you have luck, you can always There we go. Google is going a little bit faster. Okay, so I have it pulled up to what other designers have done. And it looks like they've done a whole bunch of different ways. Okay, so I kind of like the teal. But maybe we could do teal and let's do some bright colors like teal and yellow. That would be cute. Or we could do teal and orange peel. No, I think I'm going to go with the I think this will be bright enough. Okay, so let's do, this is a Bumblebee Yellow. Let's stir that one. Okay, Bumblebee. And then Couture Teal. Okay. All right. Now these are not numbered, so let me think about this before I start, so I can think about what level or what they started with. It looks like okay. I think this one is first. This one and this is the first. So let's fuzz it since it's brand new. Make sure you don't have bubbles in your transfer. Okay. Just get a mini squeegees the right size. And we're just going to go over both of these with Bumblebee. And then you can squeegee off the extra. Okay, let's go ahead and peel these. And I also hit those 2 registration marks where the owl's body is so that we can very easily do the next one. We can line it up. So there's step 1. Not too bad, right? Now let's get these dried a little bit. Okay, so what would happen if I put this transfer down on this before this was dry? It would peel that chalk paste off my board. it would just stick to the back of this. So that's why we just want to make sure, I mean, you can wait out a minute or two for that to dry. It usually takes just a couple minutes. Depending on what the weather is, if it's really humid and you have windows and stuff open, sometimes it may take longer than a couple minutes and maybe more like 3 or 4. So if you have a mini hair dryer, it's nice to just grab one of those and have it with you at your craft table. All right, now we are lining up registration marks. So you can see through there that that bumblebee is right in those little targets. Little, what do you call it? Like a cross hair. Okay, so now we're ready to do couture teal over this whole owl. And this is a little bit risky because we're just doing fun colors here. So if I picked bad colors, I'll decide when I'm done what I think it looks like. But just for fun, I don't think it's going to hurt to do bright. And there we have him. He's cute. I like it. That turned out very cute. So once you're happy with the way it lined up, then you can just take a Clorox wipe or a cloth that's wet, and we're going to erase those registration marks. So just a little bit of water, and that is gone. So that's all there is to it. So our 2 projects today, we'll just put that there for show here. We did the Hello Owl, and we did the brand new transfer from our autumn winter catalog, our No Hurries, No Worries sloth. Thank you for watching my live today. If you're watching this after the live, just put the comment replay in the comments. If you like this, love it and share it with your friends so we can spread the chalk love. And if you are not a member of my VIP group, in the comments, put add me and I'll add you. I am also on Beth's Classy Chalking on YouTube, so you can find these videos there as well. Thanks for watching and have a great night. Bye now.